Hey y'all, it's Alina, and I am back going to do a makeup tutorial for you. I think it's going to be just like a soft glam. It's not going to be anything super crazy. And I'm going to start with my eyes because I generally like to start with my eyes. Oh, she hasn't been used in a while. She's a little dry. I'm sure you've heard that, my boy. So, I am recently starting to make content that isn't just about my business, which, if you're not familiar, I have a custom apparel business. If you're watching me, you're probably watching me on my business YouTube page, but I have been listening to a few different marketers and people who have a little bit better knowledge than I do in terms of social media marketing and content creating. So even though this is a makeup tutorial, hopefully that it will get you interested enough to hear what I have to say in other ventures, because eventually I would like to create a podcast and talk to entrepreneurs about what their experience has been in either growing their business or starting their business or doing something along those lines. So this is just something that I can do myself without having to book anybody to talk to. But in these tutorials, I'll drop a little bit of some lessons in business that I've learned, some lessons in makeup because I used to do makeup, and I still do my own makeup, but I used to do makeup professionally. And so part of the reason why I'm doing these videos is to kind of see where this might go and how it resonates with people. So I've been on this journey. I've been trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, what resonates. And makeup for me has always been a big draw. People love whenever I do their face. I just wasn't great at like promoting myself. And at the time, even though like social media was like up and coming and just getting started, like it didn't even occur to me to like utilize that, aside from maybe post a picture here and there, but certainly not in the same way that I feel about it now. And so I've been listening to a lot of content creators and marketing. I've been listening to podcasts and different things that they've been talking about, and I'm just trying to apply that to what I'm doing, whether it be for my business or just building on my personal brand. And part of the reason why I feel like, okay, I know makeup, I've done it before, this is something that I could probably teach, is part of the reason why I'm doing this is to build on that brand and to finally utilize these platforms in a way that I've never had before. So that is why I am uploading videos, and there will be more to come. I'm not a really like wing it type person, although that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And so I live for a schedule. I'm super organized. I think that's important in business generally, but also it doesn't necessarily lend itself to spontaneity and things just happening organically. So I'm trying to be good about walking a fine line between the two and making sure that I am doing what I can to plan and prep, but then also be spontaneous and do stuff that maybe might work. So I don't know if you guys have seen my content on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook but it's just stuff like just seeing what works, seeing what we can do, seeing what might resonate with people. Thus far it's been okay. Like it's actually been pretty good, and I'm actually proud that I've been able to execute on a few things that maybe I haven't done previously, but that is all part of the process. Whether one person sees it or whether a few hundred people see it or a couple thousand people see it, that is part of the process. And as I am becoming more of a practitioner of social media, hopefully I will get better. So it's just a matter of figuring it out. But that is why you will see more content from me. We'll see, and I'm not sure how many views this will get. There might be just 2 people who see this thing. I might have 2 people, but you know what? I appreciate them 2 people. I appreciate you sticking with me and watching this video and giving me the views and helping me become a little bit better every day and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And hopefully I'll be one of the people who, you know, has a good following, and reaches 1,000 or 2,000 or 500,000 or a million subscribers. I would love that. But again, I'm just starting. I'm just trying to figure things out. I'm just literally seeing what works, what doesn't. And also, I'm only one person, right? So, like, there is a lot that goes into a lot of this stuff that people do. Who are doing it on a much larger scale and who have done it previously. But I'm encouraged. I am interested in how to kind of grow and what I need to be doing that maybe resonates or doesn't resonate. And as I upload videos and make more content, I will hopefully figure that out and see what people are interested in and seeing what they're not. And maybe you guys hate my makeup, but maybe you love my business, right? Like, maybe you use us on a regular basis and we're able to provide you with the branding and merchandise that you need for your business. And again, my business is California Black Label. It's CABlackLabel.com. And then CABlackLabel at all of our handles: YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I think that's TikTok. We're just seeing what works, seeing what sticks, seeing how we make it happen. If I didn't already say this before, I used Omega on my eyes, and then I used brown down in the crease, right? So like brown down or Omega is what the brown down is sort of blending into, just to create that depth. And then I'm just going to make sure to spread it all around, get it as blended as possible with a crazy bubbly. How's everybody doing? I am doing great. I think good couple weeks personally. I think nationally, and just what you see in the news has been like terrible. That's been a little bit of a concern, obviously, having or being a part of the trans community. So it's a little jaw-dropping what's been going on lately, but I mean, I guess that's par for the course. It is kind of something that we were expecting to happen possibly from this administration, but it's unfortunate. And of course, it's something that we all have to work through. I'm from the old school, right? So like, generally you don't talk about a lot of stuff and you don't put your business out there. And, there's a lot of good or bad, depending on which side you are on. There's a lot of fervor and dissent and difference of opinion on either side, right? So like, some people love trans people and think that they should be allowed to exist as they are, and then others do not, and they are vocal about it and vote against you and want you to basically go hide under a rock. And for me, I guess I just grew up in a time where I was not as bold as the kids are today. It was very much a try to blend in and get along situation, right? Although I have pushed boundaries my entire life, there was always consequences to that, and so that really shaped who I am today, and so I maybe not as vocal as maybe others are. Not to say that I don't think that our rights are important or that we shouldn't be given the same sort of respect as everybody else, but that is just a way in which I grew up, always just trying to make everybody else feel comfortable. I am a people pleaser for sure, and so wanting to not take up too much space has always been a part of who I was, and I'm just now realizing that maybe that's not the way to be, right? Like, I've always kind of felt that, but now I think because we're at the place where we're at now, it's time to really do what's necessary and be more visible and have more people understand who you are and why you are this way. And some people are not going to get you. Some people are not going to understand why you are the way that you are. Some people are not going to understand why you would choose to be transgender, because it very much is a choice. I mean, it's a choice in the sense that I could have easily done what everybody else did and pretended to be somebody else, and just to get along in society. But that just isn't inherently who I am. And so I've been making waves for quite some time. I don't know that I really thought about that in a larger scale, but I mean, I have been in positions and at companies and in groups of people that, I was the only trans person that they've ever met or been a part of or invited to wherever. So I've been doing that my entire life, but I've also been really mindful that I can't rock the boat too much. And so I'm starting to realize now in my 30s that the boat needs to be rocked and things need to change. And as much as I have advocated for myself and my community and others, we're getting to a point at this point in time where my experience and what I have been able to accomplish and what I've been able to do thus far as a trans person is important. I guess I just never felt like what I have done previously and the life that I've lived was really that important, or anybody was really that interested, and that they didn't really hear anything from me. But I realize now that like, who else? You know what I mean? Like, if not me, who else? I know that there's other people who are able to speak on the experience, but I have been literally trans since I was like high school, like maybe even sort of middle school. I mean, I was wearing makeup back in middle school. Not well, but there will be people who can attest to that. But I was wearing makeup back in middle school, and maybe I didn't have the words for it, or maybe no one else did, but this has been something that I have been doing for quite some time. So it was definitely a choice. It was definitely a choice to be who I wanted to be and who I am. But it wasn't a choice in the sense that had I been anybody else, I don't know where I would be, right? I might be on a street homeless somewhere. And afraid to be exactly who I am, and afraid to live my life in the way that I see fit. It's not been easy. It never is. Being the only trans person in your family, being the only trans person in your friend group, like it's a struggle sometimes, because some people don't understand it, and then some people also need to learn from it. So, I'm just at a point in my life right now where I just don't give a fuck anymore. Like, girl, I've been living like this forever. She has been out here on the streets, honey. I deserve to live in a way that I see fit, just like anybody else does. And so I'm just at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, it's time to be more visible. I'm starting to realize, like, maybe my voice is missing in the conversation. Maybe what I thought I shouldn't be saying really does need to be said. My experience has always been to kind of make sure that everybody was comfortable around you, and make sure that you didn't take up too much space and whatever else that I could be doing or could not be doing. And I realize now that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. And it's important for people who are taking up the space to be given that opportunity. Now I'm just stepping into taking up more space, doing what's necessary in order to make sure that I have put my voice out there, and that my experience is being told as well. So my journey with MAC is long, girl. I've been wearing MAC since I was 15, 16. Mind you, when I was younger, I would like wear my mom's makeup, which was like CoverGirl. Girl, I look crazy. I have been every shade in the book. I've been pink, I've been orange. But my journey with MAC started when I was like 15, 16. The person who actually got me into using MAC, or who like turned me onto it, was my girlfriend Kelly. I first met the gay kids at in high school. There was a few of them, Kelly included, that were wearing makeup at the time, and I also wore makeup, but I wore makeup because I had like terrible acne. I thought like I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I thought wearing makeup would cover up the fact that I had terrible acne, although it like made my acne worse. I was a mess. Girl, she was a real mess. So in high school, met Kelly. She was the one who turned me on to MAC, and I haven't looked back since. I mean, literally, I wore MAC. I think just recently I tried Fenty Beauty and loved Fenty Beauty, aside from the fact that it isn't as how would I say, like where MAC, it like almost smooths out the texture. Fenty Beauty like almost accentuated the texture in your skin, which I didn't really love. And so for me, that didn't really work, and I wasn't really too pleased with it. Whereas MAC, and maybe it's just the fact that I'm just so used to it, and I'm so used to wearing it for so many years. MAC did not do that to my skin. In fact, I feel like it actually makes my skin look smoother, which is what I love about it. And I've also tried like Estee Lauder and a few others, and just nothing for me really compared. And maybe it's just because I've used it for years and I'm just so used to it and I'm such like a creature of habit. But I felt like it is just it's my go-to. And I'm so pissed that they've gotten rid of their recycle program, because girl, I have bottles, I mean literally bottles and bottles of old MAC that I'm still hanging on to, by the way. I'm waiting for them to bring it back, because honey, I used to take advantage of that program, that recycle program, and get me a new lipstick or a lip gloss if you go to the pro store, or an eyeshadow, even if it was a matte one. I loved that program. Now they have like other shit, and they're actually MAC. I've never seen MAC on sale so much in the last couple years, but I understand why. But that was not the case like back in the day. Back in the day, I do not remember anything about no MAC being on sale whatsoever. Girl, you paid full price, and now their pricing is like much more than whenever it used to be. But you know, it is my go-to. It is my everyday. It is the thing I use, and most people can't wear MAC in the same way that I do because it like makes them break out. But I don't have that problem. Like I used to have terrible acne back in the day, and using MAC didn't always work out in my favor, but I think I just have like a really good handle on my skincare routine now. And as you get older, you should probably, that's definitely something you should be doing. Okay, I slept with my makeup, then maybe I might like break out with something, but I'm super mindful that when this shit comes on and it's on all day, I'm taking it off at the end of the day. Well, I don't give a shit what time it is, how, you know, what the circumstances are. This stuff needs to come off, and I need to give my face a good cleaning and a moisturizing, and then I'm generally pretty good. And so I'm just a lover of MAC. Always have been, probably always will be, except for the girls at some of the counters, you know, over the years some have been not so kind, especially to a young trans girl coming up, prettier than they are. No, just kidding. Girls back in the day, whenever I was going to MAC, I mean, literally were, if they liked you and they were like for the gays and for the girls, like they'd be like, oh, you know, hey, you know, how can I help you, whatever. But I have had bitches literally from the MAC counter look at me like I had shit on my face. Or one even like told me, she's like, your one purchase is really hurting my sales goals or something. And she's like, so whenever you come to this counter, you need to what'd she say? She's like, you need to buy more than one product or whatever it is. And I don't remember. I mean, I've been to MAC so many times, and I don't know why I would be buying just one product, or maybe it was just all that I needed. But that bitch really came and told me that. And I was thinking like at first I'm like, oh, okay, like sure. And then like eventually I realized I was like, oh wait, no, she's out of her mind. Like this bitch is crazy. And had to let her know. And her manager know because that shit's nuts. But anywho, where is she now? Who the fuck cares? But my Mac journey has been long, and I am still a Mac lover. That is just that they are my go-to. Anytime that I would do makeup on people, that is what I would use. To this day, back in the day, and a lot of the brides that I would do makeup for would be like, I don't wear MAC, it makes me break out, I can't use that. So then we'd have to choose alternatives and stuff. But I don't know, I haven't done it in a while, so I don't know what the brides are wearing now. I'm sure probably some of the trendier things. There's been a lot of new makeup brands that have come out in recent years that are like doing really well, Fenting being one of them. So I'm sure that's like someone's go-to. So if you ever see me, bitch, you know I'm at MAC, okay? You ever compliment me on my makeup, which I do get a lot of, because I get a lot of people always come up and say, actually, it sounds terrible, but it's true, actually. Like, I literally was in Costco the other day, and some Asian lady, Filipino lady, I shouldn't say Asian, she was Filipino, and she comes up to me, she's like, excuse me, and I say, yeah, and she goes, can I tell you something? And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh God, what is this lady gonna say to me? We're all be here in Costco, girl, I'm just trying to get some berries and some, some hamburger meat, like I'm just living out here, living my life. And she says, can I tell you something? And I said, sure. And she goes, you're so beautiful. And I literally was like, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I know, but thank you. No, just kidding. But I told her, I was like, thank you. And I don't know why. And that's not the first time that has happened. I mean, there's a lot of people who say that. And now I'm sounding like a crazy person. There's a lot of people who tell me I'm really good looking. No, they don't. But I have had instances where people have said like, oh, you're actually really pretty, or you're, whatever. And I'm just, and of course you're just like, thank you. So anytime that has happened, girl, it's been MAC. It's MAC. That's what it is. It's just MAC. It's not, it actually has nothing to do with me. It's just the makeup I'm wearing. And the fact that I can put it on, right? I don't know, like up until maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I would not go out of the house if I didn't have makeup on. Like, I just was not that girl. I did not feel confident. I still don't feel confident with the makeup, going outside without makeup on. But I also am not as crazy about it anymore, and I can actually go outside. And although I'm not like, don't feel 100%, I feel a little bit more confident now as an adult, which I never thought I would. Like, I never thought I'd be in a place where I felt more confident or confident enough to go outside without makeup, because that was just not in the cards for me. I felt like that was just not like a thing that that's just not a thing that I ever thought I would get over. Again, being trans, that's just one of those things, if I didn't present a certain way, if I didn't have my face fully done, eyes as well, okay, like not just liner, but like eyes done, sometimes with a sometimes with a full smoky eye. I mean, there were years, and I have friends who can attest to this, years where I literally did not go out or anywhere without a full smoky eye. Like, I just thought, for whatever reason, yeah, that's just what you do. You wear a full smoky eye. I will wear a full smoky eye until I die. Whatever. Okay, cut to now where that is not happening. And I feel a lot more confident in what I do and how I do it. Now I feel a little bit more confident that I can go outside, but I don't generally like to without makeup. But I will. I do. I have been to Costco without makeup. Is it a good idea? Probably not. Will I wear a mask sometimes? Absolutely. By the way, this is my company logo. I don't know if you could see it, but We are California Black Label. Again, California Black Label on all handles: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What else are we on? I don't know. I'm gonna try and get onto Whatnot. Has anybody heard about Whatnot? Whatnot is apparently an app or a website or whatever the fuck it is, where you get on and you are essentially like selling on there. It's almost like a QVC, but like you're the show, like it's your show. So like sitting here talking, doing stuff like this, like that is, I guess, apparently like where you could do what you could do on Whatnot, and that's somewhat appealing to me, but you have to have kind of a following. So I feel like I'm maybe not at that point where I can get on Whatnot just now, but eventually that would be the goal. I struggle with kind of um, uh, figuring out how to make it all work, I suppose. What actually works and what I should and shouldn't be doing. But it's all just like not a test, but it's all just like it's an opportunity to see what's working, what isn't, what's resonating, what's not. And then the nice part about being on some of these platforms is they have analytics for you. If you're, I think, a business, then we get the analytics for like how a certain post is done, or like what's our growth factor, or like what's our growth numbers in a 24-hour period, and what reel or what post or what carousel does well and which one doesn't. And like right now I'm trying to find a happy medium to kind of grow those numbers, and that's all in direct relation to what we're actually putting out there and what we're showing everybody on our platforms that we do have. So trying slowly but surely to make sure that we are putting as much out there as possible and growing where we need to grow, and hopefully eventually maybe go viral and have some sales from that and some more content from it. And we're doing a few collaborations, and those collaborations will help us in terms of creating content and also just getting us new interests in what we do and how we do it, and possibly new work to come. Now we're going into our third year, and I feel like we've never really made an effort to do much social media, and so this year I wanted to change that and really change our presence online, and also create more presence on our website online, because to work all week and then also create enough product to where you're going out to these shows, and then also setting up for 6, 8, 10, 12 hours in the day, so you can sell a few hundred pieces of products. It's a lot. And so trying to transition our business to be more online has really been a goal of mine, because although we like being out in the community and we do like being a part of some of these shows and events that we have historically been a part of, it is not always profitable, but then also it's not always as fun. Like it's a lot of work, the setup, the breakdown, the stress of having to figure out how it works into your schedule and what you can and can't do, and whether or not you're able to get product out in a certain amount of time, as opposed to being online, where online is a lot easier because you are able to receive orders and then get them out in a timely manner, and you don't have to set up a whole situation, a whole little store, and then break down the little store at the end of the day, and then just be completely exhausted whenever you get home and not want to do a damn thing. So, we're doing our best to grow our business into something that's a little bit more online based. Then we can focus on actually volunteering our time and like doing stuff for the community, as opposed to being in the community and then hawking shit. Hopefully we can do like more volunteer stuff and like being able to take over certain aspects of like the events that are happening here, even just going and going and attending and buying stuff from other local vendors. I mean, we haven't really had the ability to do that either in the last couple years because we're so busy focusing on what we have going on and what we need to do and being stuck at an event all day and being so exhausted, and not making any money or making some money, and it's we'd like to build the business up to uh, where it's not just having to be there outside for a certain amount of time for hours on end in order to be successful, but also to just stand on its own and people like our product and always come back and buy from us even on a random Tuesday instead of just the times when they see us out there doing our thing at a certain event that maybe they showed up to or didn't show up to, right? So what I'm going to use is this cream dazzle shadow liquid. Now this is very new for me. I'm gonna use this first, which is, I'm not even sure what color this is. Meantime, and then, oh girl, they are too small. And then this one is Flash. I don't know, but I'm gonna use these two. I'm gonna put this one on first, and then I'm gonna put this one over it. But I am not generally used to this dazzle, whatever the fuck it's called. I am, like I said, I've been using MAC for many years, and I have always used their pigments in order to give myself some dazzle in the eye. But I figured since I have these, I will use them. And what I'm going to do is just place this here. See that? Can you see that? Yeah. Try not to block you. Let's see. I'm gonna go all the way in. Well, not all the way in. I'm gonna stop about there. 75% of my eyelid, maybe, and just get it in there as much as possible. I'm gonna do the other side. Get a little bit of it. Get it right there. And this Dazzle Lash, it works well, but I am just so used to using pigments, and I also have a shit ton of pigments that I can do a whole video on. I won't probably do a video on all of them, but I do have a lot of fucking MAC. Like, I was just thinking about that the other day. I am insane. There are things I have never ever used on my face, and they're just sitting in there having paid full price for them and just did not use them, and I should give them to friends and family for those who actually wear them. I'm taking this other one, and excuse the brush has been through it, okay? She has some trauma, but I'm going to put this right on top, and it's going to get that little extra dazzle, and I'm going to blend it into the rest of this, not getting it everywhere, but just staying within that. You see that? Bang out. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to take a little bit more of brown down, and eventually I will go in here with my carbon eyeshadow, but I'm going to take some brown down and then go and blend that into where I stopped the dazzle, making sure it blends nicely. And it doesn't look as dark actually on film or on camera as it does like sitting here actually looking at it. And I'm gonna take my liquid liner from Revlon. You know, she loves to mix and match, and I've used MAC's liners and stuff before too, but I don't know, it just seems like a lot that's not necessary sometimes. So I really like this Revlon one, so I use this. I'm going to line my eye, and I like a thin liner, nothing too crazy. I say that and then watch it gets thicker and thicker, because as I start fucking up even more, it's gonna get even more. And again, don't want the cat eye to be doing too much, just enough. We just want a moment of silence for this line to make sure that she comes out right. It's not a guarantee that she's gonna come out right. It's very much up in the air, but A girl can dream, a girl can hope and wish. Mind you, I haven't done a glam eye in quite some time, so forgive me if it's taking me a minute. I'm trying to be mindful of how it's happening and what I'm doing. Girl, what does that look like? Does that look okay to you? I just like to put the mascara on, and again, I'm using a Maybelline, I think it is. Using the brush to help spread it out. Does that look? You like it? I love my peaches from MAC. So that is like, again, my go-to. It goes with everything. And it honestly goes with just about everyone. I have used this blush on a few people when I've done their makeup, and it's just so pretty on the girl, on the boys, on everybody. You know I love a blush, so I go a little heavy on the blush because I love a good blush, but I always try and do it here on the cheek. I'll take my powder brush and I will just make sure that that blends in. Rather, like, it's just enough and it's blended and it looks nice, but it doesn't look like you're from the 80s. See? Nice little something. Gives you a little something. Well, I'm gonna do my hair and then I'll be back. Okay, guys, this is the final look. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna pull out my curl. Again, I do 3 sections, 1-inch barrel curl, and then I let it cool down. But this is the final look. I don't know if it translates as well like in the natural light. Like normally when I do my makeup, I would do it in natural light, and so you would be able to like see. Maybe if I change the color a bit on here, I don't know. It might actually expose me if I change the color. Does that look better? Worse? Maybe? I don't know. But this would be the final look for me. I mean, girl, I'd go to Costco up in this, and I say Costco because I'm there all the time. But I don't know if it's just the lighting or whatever, but hopefully this looks even and good to you, because it looks like that in the natural light, I guess, which is maybe this. I don't know. This is a little bit more orange. Maybe actually that's a little bit better. Like it should be probably that. And I did my entire video in the other lighting. Just lessons learned, things that need to be figured out eventually. But I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you listening to me just kind of go on and on. Hopefully I will have more videos, makeup tutorials, maybe even some cooking. Who knows? We'll see. Girl, we're making content. That's what we're doing. And so and hopefully I'll get some more people to do it with me. Maybe we might do a joint session of makeup with a friend of mine who knows how, or maybe does some drag makeup or something. And then as far as cooking, like I gotta come up with some recipes for what I know I can do and execute on without looking like a complete asshole. But I appreciate you listening to me and watching me and supporting me and my business. Again, CaliforniaBlackLabel.com, and then also on all handles: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, what's not, California Black Label. That's CA and then Black Label. So not California spelled out, but just the initial. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this time that we had together. Hopefully we can spend some more time together later on. I'm just, again, creating content that I hope resonates, and I hope you guys liked. If you have any suggestions, if you want to see something in particular, this is glam for me, but there are other people who do like way more, and I can also push my limits. And then I have an array of makeup that I could utilize in order to do some really cool stuff. I just don't generally, because I wouldn't wear it out anywhere, but I could do some really cool shit. I don't know. This is part of the learning journey and trying to figure out what works. So I hope to see you next time. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all the things, because they definitely help. And again, looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks. Bye bye.